Right, now continue on with our deep intrinsic flexors and abductors. Now we're going to concentrate on adductor hallicus. Now, don't get this confused with abductor hallicus, which is down in the medial portion, which we've covered back in other videos. This one in particular is the adductor hallicus, which obviously is almost in an L shape, if you like. So comes across from basically the metatarsal heads across here. So it has an oblique head, which goes across basically the met heads, and then it comes and attaches just on the inside of that phalanx there, and then it comes down in this portion here. So we've got our flexor digital brevis here, so it's just lateral of that and comes down on the inside, so through there. So we're sort of looking at this direction here. Flexor dig brevis here, and we've got abductor hallicus out here. So let's not get confused with those. So once again, with any of these muscles, it's obviously really important to make sure that your clients are relaxed, okay? The pressure's all right. So in terms of working the oblique head, which is across here, and then we've got the transverse head down through here. So you've got basically the ball or the base of the great toe through here, okay, that phalanx there. So we know that it attaches into this area here. So in terms of working this, trigger points are literally locally, okay? So they'll be in and around where the muscle is itself. So just remember that you're slowly working through the different layers of the deep intrinsic muscles of the foot, okay? And you know, these are sensitive areas. So once again, if we're looking at our clients, especially our runners and so forth, this is a great area to be concentrating on those. And if we have got clients coming with plantar fascia pain, I would incorporate all these. All right, so the oblique head comes across. Once again, it's not hard. Now, you would think in terms of working this muscle, you want to work across, but sometimes you'll find it's actually hard to negotiate working across this way. So what I tend to do, and I find that's so much more easier, is to work down and across the fibers themselves like so, okay? Now this is especially for the actual oblique head of adductor hallicus. So just working across like so, and you'll find trigger points are littered across that area. So for the most part, I'd say the medial one, so where our second toe and our third toe is, that's where you tend to find most of the hot spots in regards to the trigger points for the oblique head. So we're just working across that area. Now, once again, with any of these muscles, before you work in here, I would potentially be using a broad approach. So once again, we can come across the top here and just work. So you'll need to position the foot so it's nice and stable. Okay, you don't want it hanging over here because you're going to slip off. You're not going to be able to get the pressure and the engagement of the tissue. So you just want to work over the top of those sort of almost metatarsal heads. So once again, it's a broad approach. You might just get a bit of cream on that, like so. Okay, so the flat of the foot's there, and then we can just work nice, gently across the top of that transverse head. Now, there's not much room to work with there, but definitely a broad approach is nice. How's that comfortability, Kath? Just on the edge. Okay, so once again, and then if we want, we can just come across the top and work across that way for that transverse head. Okay. Sorry, the oblique head. Okay. The transverse head is different because it's coming down through this area here. Okay. So it's just a very slip. So we've got our abductor hallicus through here, which stops about here. So remember, we work that area there. We've got flexor dig here, quadratus plantar, and then we've got the transverse head of adductor hallicus. So we're going to come right up through that area, basically right through here. just to the medial side of the great toe, okay? And then if we come out here further, then we've got the flexor. We'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. So working across through here, keeping on to the inside, not engaging flexor, dig, brev, like so. Once again, you can come in, broad approach first, work through that tissue, then engage the trigger points from that point of view. So as I said, local referral in and around the muscle itself for adductor hallucis. Okay, so remember, here we are, transverse, oblique head of adductor hallucis, and then the transverse head down through here. Okay, so remember, we're coming on the inside through there for the transverse head. Flexor dig here, okay, quadratus plantar. Then we've obviously got our medial and lateral heads of our other adductors through there. So coming across for the oblique head, if you want to pick up those trigger points through there, okay, and then the transverse is coming down through this area here, keeping on the medial surface of that big phalanx for the great toe, like so. Okay, making sure the pressure's all right. How's that pressure, Kath? So not guarding, once again. So that's the art of what we do. And remember, we can keep, you know, a nice broad approach, but basically remember that you need to have the flat of the foot up against that base there. So when you work through that area, you're not slipping off and it's not unsupported. Okay, so that's what we're looking at there. Okay.